Hi. I think I might have bit off more than I could chew. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel where today we will start our new series which will be a Director of Football Challenge with Livorno. Now if you're unsure how a Director of Football Challenge works in FM, basically you give your Director of Football control of transfers, contracts, pretty much everything bar tactics and training. So I feel like it adds a different challenge to Football Manager. You know, the easiest way to get your team to be good is to sign young players with potential and let them grow, then either sell them to finance further investments into your squad or just keep them in your team until they become world beaters. So not having that sort of control over which players you can bring in and which players you can sell definitely brings an element of realism and an element of difficulty. So I'm going to go away, I'm going to set up my team, set up how the staff responsibilities work. I'm going to get through the January transfer window and I'll see you at the first game of this season. So I'll come back a little bit early just to give you a little more information on Livorno and what's expected of us this season. In terms of the minimum board expectations, we are expected to avoid relegation to Serie C, which will be our first season aim. You know, this isn't going to be one of them series where I fly up the league, I get to Serie A straight away and I start challenging the European places. No. I'm going to be in a struggle to keep my job a lot of the time, I would imagine. And I'm going to have these sort of expectations to avoid relegation, and that's what I'm aiming to do. Now, in terms of transfers, we've got a pretty low transfer budget and wage budget for Serie B, 400 grand and 3 grand in the wage budget. You can see my Director of Football is already in for a free transfer, and if we get him, you will see him later on. Well, lads, the summer is over. The transfer window has now shut. Our Director of Football, well, I would say he's been busy, but he hasn't. As you can see by our wage and transfer budget, it has increased. We now have £564,000 available for transfers going forward and £7,7800 per week available in the wages. So if nothing else, our Director of Football is definitely frugal now. He's made 3 signings, all of which are not all that great. Majorino from Cremonese, he is a decent player and I'm glad he signed him. It was a decent signing. Let's just put it that way. He might be in the first 11, although he's not going to be in the first 11 for today's game. He is on a bit of a hefty contract on 3.6 grand a week, but he is well rounded as an attacking midfielder, and I hope he will contribute to the season going forward. And then my Director of Football has made 2 free transfers, both youngsters, one a left back, Lian Seka from Albania. He looks okay, he's got 3.5 star potential, so he could grow potentially even further. Whether he makes it at this club, I highly doubt it, probably not. And there was also a Dejan Saric, who was signed on a free transfer, an Austrian attacking midfielder / striker, depending on where we want to play him. Again, another one with a little bit of potential, but it would take some rapid growth in his attributes if he was to make it into the first team. And now the first big mistake from my Director of Football, Maicon. He is a right back and he was very much pivotal in my plans. He is an attacking wing back, which is what we're going to be playing at the right back spot. And he ended up selling him for £160,000, rising to £200,000 potentially. He's actually a really decent player in terms of his physicals. His mentals are well rounded for this league. Technically, he's not great, but attacking wise, his dribbling and crossing would have come in very handy going forward in this league. But now we don't have him. He's went to Spezia, who are a rival in this league. And there is a couple of fixtures that we'll have a check back on, including a Spezia game. So we've played a bunch of friendlies, but there was 2 Italian Cup qualifying rounds that were played in. The first of which was against Pontedera, who are in the league below, I do believe. And we ended up winning 3-1 at home. Andrea Lucchi in the 3rd minute with the first goal. Majorino, who was signed, got himself a goal in the 50th minute. And our left back, Ia Pacino, got himself a goal as well. But then Spezia came along and not only did they pinch our right back, they also knocked us out of the Italian Cup in the 3rd qualifying round. Luka Bogdan got us a goal very late on 91st minute, but we're out. Which brings us to today, where we will be playing Carpi in Serie B in our first game in charge. And due to injuries and stuff, this squad is not necessarily our strongest 11, but I will introduce you to them nonetheless. We have Mazzoni in goal. He's a 3-star keeper, 34 years old. He's okay, he's well rounded for this league, I guess. 3-star in our squad, is a leading player for most Serie C sides, so as you can see, the quality isn't always at the top. At right back, we're going to be playing with is it Nicolo Fazzi. He will be our attacking right back now. He can play everywhere. He is right-footed, which is why I wanted to play him at the right back spot because, of course, we sold Maicon. Not as well-rounded in the physical or mental department as Maicon, but technically maybe a little bit better defensively with that high tackling stat. We'll have to see how he gets on. It might be a problem position for us going forward now. Maicon has left the club. In terms of centre-backs, we're going to start with Bogdan, who you've seen scored. Probably our best centre-back at the club. 22 years old, Croatian, 3.5-star. Current player, which is a leading player for most Serie C sides. Our first 11 squad is not that great. Lorenzo Ganelli, is going to be the other centre-back for today's game. He looks okay, decently well-rounded in pretty much every centre-back stat, but nothing special going on there. Fazzi will be starting. Pacino will be starting as our left-back. A bit similar to Maicon in my view, but better defensively, with some mentals who are questionable, but he's Swiss. He's one of our best players in the first team, leading player for most Serie C sides. We are going to struggle this season quite heavily, and our assistant did not help us whatsoever. Bruno is going to start at defensive midfielder position. He will not be starting there incredibly often. Our best player in the squad, hands down, is Fazzi, who is currently, it's Agazi, I believe he's injured. He's a 4-star player, 25-year-old Italian, good player from our Serie B sides. You'll see a lot more of him going forward before today's game. He is going to be missing. Rocca will be our ball-win midfielder in the centre. He's 22-year-old Italian, looks okay. Jemmy, 21 years old, he is listed for loan. Probably would not be starting him under normal circumstances. One of the most recognisable names in the squad is Alessandro Diamanti. He's 35 years old. He joined Livorno for a free transfer during this season. Physically, he's just horrendous, but technically and mentally, he's absolutely fantastic. And particularly with a corner stat and his set pieces, I'm hoping he can be a provider for us this season. Up front, we are going to start with Rajkovic, who is a deep lying forward. I will be playing him as a striker. Well-rounded, 3.5-star current, 4-star potential. He's from Montenegro. We'll see how he gets on over the season. And joining him will be Giannetti, who we've got on loan from Cagliari. He is okay. And that was the fast and sloppy introduction to the first 11 for the first team squad. If you're wondering where this tactic has come from, it is a slight adaptation from when I played with West Ham. Obviously, with the roles and positions changed, I've removed a lot of the team instructions to sort of free up. The team hasn't got the quality to be able to get on board with complex team instructions and player instructions, just due to the quality, I think. It might be something we'll approach further down the line, but we'll constantly be reviewing the tactics. That's all we've got to base our success on at Livorno, is being tactically aware. So we'll go up against Carpi. I'm not even going to pretend like I recognise any of these names. They're playing a 4-5-1 with the attacking wingers, so we'll see how we get on today. So, first game in charge of Livorno, first game in Serie B, first game of the Director of Football Challenge. We are at home, so hopefully we can make something happen there. Well, we'll just wait and see. And let me know how you feel about this series. Do you think it's got legs? Do you think we're going to get anywhere? Obviously, not being able to make transfers is just such a huge handicap to have. You know, that's how a lot of people advance in the game, buying better players, getting the potential in, using the finances raised to get their team further up the league. And obviously we are not going to have that. The Director of Football will be controlling it, and we won't have control as they go close and hit the post. Early signs that we've had against teams at our level like Spezia and Carpi are not exactly encouraging, to be honest. And you've just seen the side. You've seen most of the players are suited for Serie C football and not Serie B. So avoiding relegation is not only a realistic aim, it might even be a bit of a lofty aim based on some of the attributes our player has got. As we boot the ball forward, but Diamanti wins it back high up the pitch. Pacino on this left hand side gets the ball in. Fazzi connects with it. Rajkovic is there, and he puts us 1-0 up at 38 minutes in. I'm sure Carpi are one of the better sides in this league, whether in Serie A last season or maybe a couple of seasons ago. I'm not too sure. But it was absolutely not fantastic play. Pacino switches the flank. Excellent header by Fazzi on the right-hand side. And Rajkovic, I'm going to guess that's his name, I'm not too sure. He puts us 1-0 up 38 minutes in. And absolutely fantastic stuff, really. And that's it. Half-time, Livorno 1, Carpi 0. Anytime we go in at half-time and we're winning, I'm going to be incredibly pleased on this save. So we'll kick off the second half. Hopefully we can hold on for the lead. First highlight of the second half, 67 minutes in. We are in possession, so hopefully we don't lose it. Diamante back to Fuzzy on this right hand side. He gets the ball in and Colombi claims. Big punt up the pitch of Falso, centre half, who absolutely panics and knocks it back to them. Whatever that guy's name was, nearly just scored. 70 minutes in now, we've got the ball again. Diamante in the centre. Can he switch it to the left hand side? We'll go for the strike. And Colombi with a great save. That would have been a hell of a goal. Corner here. Diamante plays it in. Nobody's there. 72 minutes in now. Big punt up by Carpi. Piu gets on it. Mazzoni with a good save. And we'll get it clear to Giannetti. 10 minutes to go in this match. We're actually going to make some changes now. Our new signing, Miorino, is going to come on for Diamante. Bruno is going to come off for his name. I have no idea what his name is. Fuzzy's going to come off as well. And we're going to get on Predrelli. 2 minutes to go. And this is surely the final highlight of the game. 1.5 minutes to go now. And Carpi are in possession. Long through ball from Mokal. Oh, man. What a great finish that is, but that's just destroyed me hopes and dreams. 3 points in the first game of the season would have been such a great start for us, but Gamez, just a long punt, and our defence is left sleeping. Our keeper is absolutely hopeless, and Makulu gets a goal on his debut for Carpi. I should have went Contain, and that's it. 1-1. Carpi did come back into the game in the second half, but really disappointing not to get 3 points after being in a winning position for so long. And the league table starts off like this. We're currently in 9th with the 1 point. Obviously a lot to change in the future as we look forward to the next episode. I want to get a good chunk of games in, so I'm going to bring you the home game against Palermo, obviously one of the better sides in the league. So we'll sort of get the sense of where we're going to slot in this league after that run of games. We'll see anyway. Listen lads, if you enjoyed today's video and the start of a new series, please consider leaving a like and let me know your feedback. Let me know what you think about the save, how it's going to progress. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let us know. I'm a big boy, I could take it. But anyway, until next time, take it easy.